On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of 300 and...
They've been giving him 50,000 and 50,000 and 50,000. He had already gave Gamboa about 300,000 to chill on the side. And then we ended up, when he did go in, I ended up picking up all the fighters.
Al Heyman was so good at his job
that
he was clowning these networks. He was out negotiating the networks to the point where they were giving you an inferior product because his fighters were getting overpaid for lesser fights.
We weren't getting overpaid.
In that,
we weren't getting overpaid
for every dollar you made.
Freddie Hernandez.
Yeah, right.
This is the golden child of Al Heyman right here.
But it is admirable that Al Heyman not only did his job so well, but was helping fighters get rich while he was doing it. He created a climate where fighters started to begin to believe that they were worth more money. I don't mean to me. You're worth all the money in the world to me, the fighters. But I mean to the marketplace.
My thought is everything has a price. There is not a number that can get you back in that ring. 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity, you ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money?
50 Cent just used the line Crawford beats your ass while clowning Floyd Mayweather, and it all circles back to a jaw-dropping $340 million lawsuit. What makes this lawsuit even more explosive is the sheer scale of the accusation. Floyd Mayweather isn't talking about a few accounting errors, he's alleging a carefully crafted scheme that unfolded over years according to the filing money from some of the biggest fights in combat sports history quietly vanished, including the Conor McGregor spectacle that shattered pay-per-view records. Now the undefeated legend claims the truth was hidden in plain sight.
He claims that he was never paid and he wants justice on his terms. So let's talk details. Let me tell you about the lawsuits. On February 3rd, 2026, Floyd Mayweather filed a lawsuit in California against Showtime Networks and Steven Espinoza, claiming they helped his former advisor, Al Heyman, misappropriate a huge chunk of his fight earnings to the tune of $340 million. Mayweather says the money is still missing and unaccounted for, and he's now suing Showtime and Espinoza for aiding and abetting breach of fiduciary duty, civil conspiracy to commit fraud. Ooh, that's...
At the center of the storm stands Al Heyman, once Mayweather's closest advisor. The lawsuit paints a picture of betrayal, accusing Heyman of secretly redirecting fight revenues while keeping Floyd in the dark. Partial documents, missing records, and unexplained accounts allegedly ensured Mayweather never saw the full financial picture for a fighter who built an empire on control and precision. This revelation strikes at the very core of his legacy.
A portion of the funds that he made through those events, through his fights, didn't make it into his hands because they were funneled through accounts controlled by his then advisor, Al Heyman. Now, Mayweather says that Showtime delivered those checks and funds through systems that helped Heyman get the money instead of paying Floyd directly. The lawsuit also points to some of boxing's biggest pay-per-view fights, including fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, events that generated hundreds of millions in revenue. Mayweather's legal team said he generated hundreds of millions in revenue for Showtime and now wants to recover what he claims.
Things grew even more suspicious when Mayweather's new team stepped in. Once Richard Schaefer and his representatives demanded transparency, Showtime reportedly failed to provide complete financial breakdowns. Especially alarming were the missing details tied to the Manny Pacquiao mega fight and the McGregor crossover event, two of the most lucrative bouts ever staged, yet the numbers, according to the lawsuit, simply didn't add up.
Mayweather's legal action targets the network and Steven Espinoza. He claims they aided and abetted these alleged financial wrongdoings. So what does this mean, and what's like a potential outcome for this case that's coming up? Well, the lawsuit could have some pretty serious implications, not only for Floyd's legacy, but also for how networks and advisors handle fighter compensations. Mayweather wants hundreds of millions back plus punitive damages, pushing this beyond a simple accounting dispute. If the court rules in his favor, it could open the door to more scrutiny of boxing's behind-the-scenes.
Now this legal battle threatens to expose what really happened behind the scenes of boxing's biggest paydays, with $340 million allegedly unaccounted for and potential damages climbing even higher. The case could send shockwaves through the sport, and as fans digest these claims, voices like 50 Cent only add fuel to the fire, turning a financial dispute into a full-blown public spectacle with reputations on the line.
Look, that really happened, Ken, because of my relationship with Floyd. You know what I mean? I didn't have interest in being a promoter, like, out the gate. It was just, he was doing Mayweather promotions at the time, and then he had to do 90 days. He was going to jail. And he had fighters, he had Rockers Gamboa, he had guys that was just lingering. I'm like, champ, if they're gonna go, they're gonna leave. If you go to jail, they're just gonna leave. Like, and he had been giving them 50,000 and 50,000 and 50,000. He had already gave Gamboa about 300,000 to jail on the side. And then we ended up, when he did go in, I ended up picking up all the fighters. And so it's Rockers Gamboa, I had James Kirkland, Andre Durrell, Billy Dip, he was the IBF champion at that point, and then a few others.
Never one to hold back, 50 Cent wasted no time turning Floyd Mayweather's lawsuit into public comedy, doubling down on years of online jabs. The rap mogul didn't just mock Floyd, he offered a blunt solution. According to 50, there's only one way to chase that missing $340 million. Step back into the ring for two massive fights that would instantly rewrite the headlines. He wrote on Instagram, "Oh no, don't cry now, champ, they beat you. Out of $320 million, you dumb. I told you, let me read the contracts, now lace up. You got to look good fighting, Mike, then maybe we can get Bud Terrence Crawford to beat you for some big money." And caught right in the middle of this storm is Al Haymon, a figure Max Kellerman once described as one of the most powerful forces boxing has ever seen. According to Max, Haymon's dominance reshaped the sport in uncomfortable ways. Fighters were paid handsomely and early risk all but disappeared, and many blockbuster fights fans demanded were delayed or never happened. The business thrived. But did boxing's competitive fire fade?
The networks to the point where they were giving you an inferior product because his fighters were getting overpaid for lesser fights.
We weren't getting overpaid.
In that,
we weren't getting
I'm happy for every dollar we made.
Freddie Hernandez.
Yeah, right.
This is the golden child of Al Haymon right here.
But it is admirable that Al Haymon not only did his job so well, but was helping fighters get rich while he was doing it. He created a climate where fighters started to begin to believe that they were worth more money. I don't mean to me. You're worth all the money in the world to me, the fighters. But I mean to the marketplace than they actually were. And so now it became difficult to make fights.
You really want us to change our mindset, right? The fact that we were putting our health in.
Andre Berto then stepped in, highlighting just how unfair and complicated the situation was, especially on the business side of boxing. He argued that Al Haymon's strategy wasn't actually failing the fighters, it was protecting them. Max Kellerman, however, held his ground, admitting the plan worked brilliantly from Haymon's perspective while still acknowledging real issues fighters faced. And just as cracks widened, Turkey Alalshik entered the picture, offering fighters a new structure, bigger stages, and clear it.
Well, then Andre Berto doesn't have to take the best fights to make the money, and now me as the consumer doesn't get to see the best Andre Berto fights. My point is, fighters started thinking that the market was different than it really was, because Al was juicing the market. In that climate, big fights stopped getting made, because fighters are thinking, I'm making all this money for not taking a risk. You want me to fight that killer? Or their managers want me to fight that killer for not much more money? Into that terrible situation for the consumer stepped Turkey Alalshik, who said, oh, okay, wait, what are your petty differences? It's over $1 million or $2 million? Here it is.
But hey, race where the situation turns even trickier, even with Turkey Alalshik paying fighters enough to make the biggest matchups possible, some fights still aren't happening, and that raises even bigger questions. Max Kellerman points directly to the long-awaited Virgil Ortiz versus Boots Ennis showdown, a fight fans are begging for but still can't get. Now attention is shifting towards Zuffa boxing, a new model that could completely restructure the sport as we know it.
Hey, now the problem is Boots and Virgil can't get made for $6 million plus for the fighters? Do you think the average person on the street in this country knows who Boots and...
Meanwhile, 50 Cent's recent remarks open the door to an even bigger question: is a fight between Terrence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather quietly being lined up? He hinted that moves may already be happening behind the scenes, pulling fans into a new era where controversy dominates the surface while real intentions stay hidden underneath. Beneath the trolling and public jabs lies a long brewing conversation about how Crawford and Mayweather's paths could collide and whether 50's latest shots are signals that a plan is already in motion.
Between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd, and I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who will win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd will win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terrence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah,
Yes. He's a chess master.
Yeah, his IQ in
But
that
the funny
success
thing
is
about
crazy.
it is Terrence has been the only other guy that people can say he always figures it out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have an OG somewhere.
Anybody
though.
else? Yeah.
There's an OG somewhere.
On the other hand, Terence Crawford shows zero interest in chasing comeback fights for massive paydays. Unlike Floyd Mayweather, he's made it clear that whether the offer is 80 million or 100 million, he's not returning for Crawford. Chasing money would feel like selling his soul. He stayed true to himself, competing to achieve greatness in the sport, and in his view, he's already done that. Meanwhile, Floyd's repeated returns have earned him the money, reputation he carries.
Back in that ring, 80 million, 100 million.
Nah, because now you selling your soul.
$100 million, you can have my soul.
That's you. Now we know your character. Sometimes, you know, you look at people and you be like, dang, man, you ain't got no dignity. You ain't got no morals. Like, come on, man. Like, what you gonna stand for if everything is about money? Like, I never was in a sport because of money, you know? Of course, I was in a sport to make money, but I wanted to be a world champion. You know, I wanted to do something that I set my sights out to do as a little boy. Money wasn't the most.
Explaining his intentions, Crawford made it very clear he's already accomplished the goal he dreamed of as a little boy, to become a world champion. Nothing else matters to him. In his view, chasing money at this stage would mean selling his soul and losing his dignity. Crawford refuses to fall into that trap, staying committed to his principles and the legacy he's built through hard work and true achievement in the sport.
Along the way on my journey, you know, it was extra credit. It was extra credit because it's coming from the hood. It was like, man, I just want to be a world champion because that's just my dream. So when I became a world champion, it was just like, man, all this other stuff is like a cherry on the top. Like, you know what I mean? I did what I set my sights out to do. It was evident that I wasn't gonna let nothing stand in the way of me accomplishing that goal in my life. My mom telling me all the time, you need to get a plan B. You need to go to school. Man, you know me in school don't rock. That's what I'm going to school for.
Y'all lay tight.
I'm gonna go to school and I'm gonna.
Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather's new lawsuit exposes just how broken boxing's system may be. He claims money from his biggest fights, including Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor, was funneled into accounts controlled by Al Haymon. Years later, when his new team requested Showtime's records, they were told the documents were lost in a flood. Now suing Showtime and Steven Espinoza for fraud, civil conspiracy, and unjust enrichment. Floyd is also seeking punitive damages with his attorneys, confident of victory. Bobby Samini said Floyd is one of boxing's biggest pay-per-view draws. He generated hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue for Showtime. Mr. Mayweather now takes this fight to the courtroom to recover what he rightfully earned, retiring undefeated at 50. Mr. Mayweather will go the distance in the courtroom just as he has in the ring, while Showtime has long been the ultimate platform for fighters worldwide. Floyd Mayweather's lawsuit now casts a glaring spotlight on what happens behind the scenes. If Crawford ever commented on it, it could open a floodgate of questions about organizers, managers, and fighter deals. For Floyd's legacy, opinions are mixed. Many fighters, including Keith Thurman, see him more as a businessman than a sportsman, strategically chasing money at every turn rather than focusing solely on the sport.
He's suing Showtime for $340 million.
Nah, we don't care. Money man trying to get more money and had a lot of money and did dumb things with money and, you know.
Doubts about the legitimacy of Floyd Mayweather's claims have only been growing. People are asking whether he's manufacturing another drama out of personal issues. The situation becomes even murkier knowing Floyd isn't suing Al Haymon directly, but rather Showtime, the entity that funneled money to Haymon. How could Floyd not notice this during his entire career? And if he did get the money, where exactly did it go? Questions about timing, awareness, and intent now hang over his claims.
This or not. This is an accusation made in a civil court by Floyd Mayweather Jr., not even against Al Haymon. We'll see where exactly and why, I don't know, he wouldn't sue Al Heyman. He's suing the people that paid Al Heyman the money and appropriated it to Al Heyman instead of to Floyd Mayweather Jr. directly. We would have to understand the contractual relationships between those parties to see whether or not this is something that Floyd should have known about or did know about or maybe did not understand. Because it seems very, very funny that Floyd would not know that the money was getting paid to Al Heyman and not directly to him.
From 50 Cent's shocking remarks, Crawford beats your ass, to the swirling drama around Floyd Mayweather's $340 million lawsuit, the boxing world is buzzing. Crawford stays true to his path, refusing comeback fights for cash, while Floyd continues to stir controversy and headlines. Could 50 Cent's jabs hint at a Crawford versus Mayweather showdown quietly brewing behind the scenes? What do you think, real or just hype droppa? Comment, smash that like, share, and subscribe for all the latest boxing drama. Right, everyone, stay tuned for the latest in boxing news, highlights, events, and stories. Subscribe to Ring Headquaterzz and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Be sure to watch our other videos too. Until next time, take care and stay safe.